Well, good morning. This is ME, and this is my fourth walking installment of FU Fibro. Today I want to talk to you about foods that wreck me. So you know the old adage that says you are what you eat. Well, when you're in chronic pain or you have some kind of autoimmune disease, it's hard to buy that. You're like, yeah, like what I'm going to eat's going to make me any better. Well, eating healthy may not make your lupus go away, but it can help you in other ways. So I have arthritis, and there are certain foods that cause a lot of inflammation. So if I have more inflammation, then I'm in more pain. So if I have a diet that is more of an anti-inflammatory diet, then I'm in less pain. So if you are on a scale of 1 to 10, your pain is a 10, but you have the option to have your pain be a 4, why wouldn't you pick a 4? You know what I'm saying? So, what foods bug me? Not as many as you think, but enough that I have figured out over the years what I can eat and I can't eat. So, beer. It's killer. Beer, I don't know, the wheat, the hops, it makes me bloated and achy. At one point, Mark bought me these little cornitas. It's a half a beer, so when I was really craving a beer, I would just have a baby beer. But if I have 2 beers, I can't walk up my stairs. The ache is just indescribable. So I stick to red wine and some straight liquors. Wheat. I've really found that I don't have celiac. I don't want to say I'm gluten intolerant, but when I have a lot of wheat in my diet, I get a lot of abdominal distension, a lot of aches and pains also. So I've really tried to be probably 75% gluten-free. If I go to an Italian restaurant though, and there's really good crispy bread and I can dip it in olive oil, I'm gonna eat it. You still gotta live. And sometimes I sacrifice that with a little ache and sometimes I don't, it just depends. What else? Tomatoes. I can eat raw tomatoes, but when I do cook tomatoes, a lot of times it's just too acidic. And I do have my food blog, and you see that I make things with tomato sauce, but I have to eat it in moderation because it'll bug me. I'm super careful with nightshade vegetables. Nightshade vegetables are things like eggplant and peppers and potatoes. Those all are triggers for inflammation. And the more inflamed your body is, the more you're in pain. And they say that people with fibromyalgia actually have this hypersensitivity to inflammation. So we just are almost always in an inflamed state. So I like to be careful with how much I consume. Now I like eggplant, I really do. But if I'm gonna make eggplant parm, you've got eggplant nightshade, you got the marinara, red sauce. It's a recipe for disaster. If you put it over pasta, I might as well just hang myself because it's so painful. So when I make eggplant parm, I peel the eggplant, I roast it, I don't bread it or fry it, and then I put it in a casserole with some sauce and cheese. Dairy. I like dairy. I like cheese. Don't really like milk. Ice cream, well, I mean, I guess I could say I like it, but it does not like me. It's another thing that causes a lot of bloating and often gives me diarrhea. It's kind of gross. So I just avoid it. When the doctor said I had, borderline high cholesterol, he's like, you gotta lay off the ice cream, ME. I'm like, I haven't had ice cream in years. I'll take a bite here and there, but it's not worth the side effects that accompany it. So I try not to do that. Things that piss me off, my system off. Chicken wings, one of my favorite things, but they're fried and they bug me. But they don't bug me as much as pizza. Pizza is just deadly. Between all the bread and the sauce, and it's just too much and my body can't handle it. So we don't have pizza very often, and if I have it, I just know I'm not going to feel well. And no matter how much water I drink, it doesn't even really matter. So the processed stuff, I don't have much processed food in my diet. If I can't pronounce something that's on a can or a bag, then I try not to consume it. Because if you can't pronounce it, what is it? Just more crap that's going to make you feel bad, and who knows what that stuff's going to do to us, whether it's going to give us cancer or, I don't know. Spinach. It's just spinach. There's nothing in it you can't pronounce. So let's go with spinach. I do eat meat. I eat it in small quantities because if I eat too much, like even 6 ounces, can also be difficult on my digestion. And my stomach's good. My stomach's good. It's one of the better parts of my body. But I've kept a journal, like not recently, but back in the day when I was trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with me and nobody knew, and they'd sent me to a nutritionist because they're like, she's a hypochondriac, she's got all these aches and pains, but there was nobody knew what really was wrong with me. I started keeping a journal, and there were definitely patterns in how I ate and how I felt. So I have a pretty decent diet, and you're not going to see me driving through McDonald's unless I'm getting an unsweetened iced tea, because I drink a lot of unsweetened iced tea. Yeah, I'd like a Big Mac, but what Big Macs do to me is not even remotely worth it. Plus, all those extra calories and all the sugar and in the buns, and it's just not good. So I know that when I eat better, my symptoms are less. The pain is less. And the whole point of me in these walks is to just give you suggestions on how to feel better. So next time you feel bloated or achy, think about what you ate that day. Okay, so maybe you shouldn't had the Cheetos with your tuna fish sandwich. Or maybe you shouldn't have had a fried chicken from Chick-fil-A. Because you know what? That stuff's going to wreck your system. So think about eating better. I promise it'll make you feel a little better. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.